Welcome to Play for Keeps, where we dive into the fascinating world of all things collectibles, from toys to memorabilia, from hobbyists to pros. We're here to discuss our hobby, reminisce about the past, and look to the next wave of collecting. What's up, fans, geeks, and nerds? It's your new best friend, Mickey, also known as Cell Phone Wallet Keys, coming to you from the Nerd Initiative with another great episode of Play for Keeps, where we talk all things collecting and crafts. And today we're focused on the latter part of that conversation. And I want to introduce our guest, Kierron Taylor. How you doing, man?
Hello, great to be here. Thank you.
We're glad to have you. I know you met Tony at AwesomeCon, is that correct?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Cool.
So I was a vendor over there at AwesomeCon, and then he just walked up. I believe he was with him, his wife, and his kid.
Yeah.
And so he saw the stuff I had and just asked me if he wanted to do a little interview. So I said, sure. So yeah, so I got here.
Nah, he's great. So like, you know, he was very excited when he like contacted me, like, we got to get Kierron on. I was like, dude, I will talk to him because I'm ready to go. So we like to ask everyone at Nerd Initiative what your nerd origin story is. So kind of what like kicked off, what, you know, it seems like you're anime, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
Sorry.
But like what got you into, you know, nerdom, right? Like whatever it is you geek out about.
So honestly, so you mentioned the little anime section. So I will say yes, it did start off as anime, but specifically, like I vastly remember the one show that kind of started. It was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah.
So watching that as a kid, just having to wait every week just to watch a new episode, it was just something that I always remembered. And just, at the time, anime in America wasn't popular yet.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't really introduced into comic books because my parents weren't really into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then even at school, none of the kids really knew what that stuff was. So as I kind of got older, I kind of dabbled into then Naruto, and I was okay, this is actually stuff here. And so then from there, kind of just dabbled in different shows, and then actually reading some comic books. More specifically was Iron Man. That's kind of when I had a introduction to Tony Stark and his the great universe of Tony Stark just within itself. So yeah, that's kind of how I started getting into the nerd culture, I would say.
Yeah, man, Avatar is great. I think I've had like 2 full viewings of it. Like I watched it by myself, and then I was like, I got my kids. I was like, you got to watch this with me. So it was really good. Have you watched the live action on Netflix yet? Like I thought that was
did.
Cool.
I liked it. I liked it. It was some things, you know, I didn't like about it, but then it got to put in the perspective of somebody who didn't watch the cartoon. And so if you didn't watch the cartoon, it made perfect sense.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So, but it was better than the live action movie, though.
It was definitely better than that.
Yeah. So I was happy about that. But it was definitely good, though. It was definitely, they have something there.
For sure. So you said you got into comic books with Iron Man. Was that because of the MCU or was that before that?
That was before. I didn't even know what the MCU was. I just honestly just didn't even know. Like none of my parents, like talking to my dad, he knew about comic books, but he never expressed it to us, I want to say, or kind of had comic books around the house or anything. So I kind of had to learn just by me randomly stumbling upon it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. That's always cool. I love comic books, as you can tell, but so that's awesome. So like, you know, the first thing Tony told me was about your rugs, and he sent me like pictures and stuff, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. So I mean, I'm just gonna jump right into it. Why the rugs? Like, where did that come from? How did that start?
So, okay, so I started making rugs, I would say about a little over a year ago, close to a year and a half now. I literally, it's a kind of random story. So I was trying to buy a rug. At the time it was a Yu-Gi-Oh rug. And so I was like, oh, this is cool. So then I looked at it. It was like $700 or something like that.
Yikes.
And I was like, I could probably learn how to make rugs for a lot cheaper. And so then I literally slowly collected all the materials and stuff. And then when I got everything I needed, I kind of started to build the frame. So what that is behind me. And then slowly started to learn. And then the first 4 rugs I had made, somebody was trying to buy them off of me. And so I was like, no, I'm not. I didn't know. So I kept saying no. So then maybe after like a month of them like kept bugging me about it, and I was like, okay, I'll sell you the rugs. And to be honest, I mean, they weren't good rugs. I mean, they were my first 4. Yeah. And so then I sold those. I sold them like 4 for like $70. Like, because I didn't know that you can make money off rugs. I just didn't know. And so then once I told that story at like the gym I was at, then people were like, oh, can you make me this and that? And I was like, well, sure. And then that's how it kind of started. So it wasn't even me trying to turn it into what it is now. I was just doing it just because I like doing it. And then, yeah, so here we are a year later. Yeah. So it's not like, it's not even like an elaborate story. It's just, having fun with it. Yeah.
I love that it was like, I can't afford that, so I'm just gonna make it. I love that. That's awesome. Like,
thank you. Yeah.
I've done that too with like lightsaber hilts. Like, you know, when I wanted one a long time ago, I was like, they're like $300-$400. I was like,
yeah, those things get pricey.
Man, I'm gonna go to Lowe's and get some PVC, and I'm gonna make one of those.
Pretty much, yeah.
I didn't go much further with it, but I made a few that looked pretty good. And I was like, man, it's all right with me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, like, you said what were your first rug? The first ones you made, what were they again?
So they were a Sharingan, a Rinnegan, and like an Akatsuki Cloud. Like basic, like just not even anything.
I think I saw a picture of them on Instagram. I think you posted.
Correct, yeah. The very first 4, that's kind of what kicked everything off. And it was, little did I know it would have such a big ripple effect.
Yeah.
And so now, because the person who I sold them to, they still have them. Like they're still hanging up on their wall.
That's
so
awesome.
So they're like, hey man, like, you know, I had the first 4, you know what I'm saying? And so like he just bought some. He actually just came to pick some up on Tuesday. So yeah, it's cool to see like my art in different places rather than just my home, because I'm just so used to just seeing them. But it's pretty cool to see it go everywhere.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Just somebody that really cares about something you made and put a lot of effort into. That's awesome, man. I think that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So like, that's what you do. Seems like a very artistic, technical like craft. Like, so I mean, did you like draw a lot? Like, were you pretty good at drawing or like in art and whatever to get to that point?
So growing up as a kid, I was always crafty with my hands. So making rugs wasn't a big transition. So growing up, I remember first starting off with like Legos, maybe like 8. And then I had like, what are they called? Not Legos, but like the like sticks and like pieces, like you put them together.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Not Mega Blocks. I'll think of the name. So yeah, just getting into that, and then I would kind of make like contraptions, like mechanical contraptions out of them, like not just like
you talking about Connect, like the
Connect. There you go, Connects. Yeah, Connects.
Those are cool.
And then just making like mechanical contraptions out of them, like cranes, and like I'll make like things that can like shoot stuff out of it too. So it wasn't just like blocks. Then I turned that into like origami. I was really big on origami, making like big like sculptures. I don't know. Like I was a kid, I didn't really know anything, so I would go to the library and just check out origami books or whatever, and then just be in the library every couple of weeks, because that's when like the books are due, and then pick up brand new books, come home, sits in the loft for like hours, like, and just make stuff. Like my mom used to get mad at me for having so much paper around, but it was, I mean, I was doing stuff with it. And then from that, when I was about maybe like 9, 10, I started to make like paper replica guns and like rifles and stuff. I didn't know what it was. I mean, I knew what it was, but I didn't know
Yeah.
anything else. So I'm like a kid, I don't know. So then it was a couple of times where I sold some to like my mom's friends because I guess they thought it was cool. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know there was money. I didn't know what the idea of money was yet.
Hey,
So I
you were
was just like,
learning though.
okay.
That was cool.
Yeah, I was like 20 bucks, 40 bucks. Yeah, I don't know. A kid, I mean, I don't even know what I did with the money. So maybe you bought some candy. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So then after that, that was that. And then by that time, I went to, well, I was in school. I want to say going into, what was that? Uh, Going into high school. Then I turned into, okay, I can't really bring this stuff to school and sell it. So I was kind of like,
Right.
how do I translate to something else? Then I started to sell candy. And then from candy, and then it turned to it's funny because when I first started to sell candy, I didn't tell my mom. So
Yeah.
I asked her at first because to get to school, I had to take like 2 like public buses. So that was my first time learning how to be in the city by myself.
Oh wow.
So I asked my mom if I could sell candy. So she's like, no, like, like you might get robbed or something. So, just my mom being a mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, whatever. So then I was at school and then I kept running into the same problem every day. Like, I'm hungry. Like, it doesn't even, like, yeah, like I'm a kid. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start selling snacks. And so then for about 6 months, like I was selling snacks at school and my mom didn't know. So I would come home with like brand new stuff. And so she wouldn't know where the money's coming from. Cause I mean, as I'm a kid, I don't know how to hide stuff. So
Yeah.
then it was and then I had the most cliche hiding spot for to hide the money, like in a shoebox under my bed. So yeah, so I wasn't even trying that hard. So then I remember one day I came home from school and so she called me into her room and like my shoebox was like on her bed. I was like, oh
Oh.
dang. So yeah. So then she asked me, where'd you get this from? And so I said candy. And so she thought I'm like it was like drugs candy. And so I was like, nah. So she told me to walk her through my entire process. So I was like, okay. So then I told her I woke up at like 5 in the morning, went to the store, got the candy, went to school, sold it. She's like, oh, okay. And so then at this point, this was ninth grade. So this is my freshman year. So this was at the point where I was actually paying people to sell for me. So
Oh wow.
once I explained that to her, she kind of knew that she can't stop it. She can only help.
Yeah.
So then it came to a point where she was like, okay, I'm gonna just help you. So we would be in the kitchen or whatever, just like making like the candy bags and stuff, organizing everything. So then that was my intro into that. And then I remember I got in trouble at school one time because I was selling uh, McDonald's. So it's the funniest thing. So I would go to McDonald's, buy like a McMuffin for $1, go to school and
Yeah.
like sell it for like 2.
Yeah.
So I was doing that every day, but I was buying like 40 a day. So when I would wake up before I left my house for school, I would call McDonald's and like make a phone order. This is before like Uber Eats or anything.
Yeah.
So then so they automatically knew. Like the first couple of times they're like they were kind of weirded out by it, but then when I would go to the store and say, hey, like I called for the 40 sandwiches, I go, okay. So like once they started seeing my face more, they automatically knew who it was.
Right.
So then I did that, and then I went to Carl's Jr. I got the chicken sandwiches, did the same thing with that. And then that's kind of how that started to fund really everything, like just comic books, clothes, everything. That was just how I just made a living as a kid. I don't know. So
Man.
that's kind of what transpired into me making stuff and selling stuff. So
Yeah.
so the rugs is kind of just a collection of all the experiences I want to say, and just now I'm here.
You're a natural businessman. That's pretty impressive. Be doing that
Thank
in
you,
high school, man.
thank you.
So I mean, you got the selling down. That was kind of comes natural to you. You had to learn how to make the rugs, right?
Yeah.
How did you run into any like road bumps, speed bumps along the way, learning how to make these rugs? Where it was like, obstacles, anything that just was tough, was hard to get through?
Something that was tough for me to get through was understanding how long it actually takes. Like, so I would kind of overestimate or underestimate how long it would take because you can't rush art. So I would say about a couple of weeks makes one, but because I'm so fast at it, I would say like, well, yeah, like a week. But then I would come into not have enough time because I have work or practice still. So it was just learning time management and learning that in order to do this, I have to set aside a certain amount of hours each day to actually do this and complete this task. So other than that, I would say time management and learning how to source materials.
Okay.
Because sourcing can get pretty difficult, especially for the quantities that I need now. It's kind of just hard to kind of stay on top of it and stay supplied all the time. So even right now, I'm still learning how to source stuff, and I'm still learning new techniques still to this day. It's pretty tough. I mean, but that's like the behind the scenes stuff that you kind of learn to love it. So I kind of like it. I mean, it's really cool to me how to just source stuff and just learn how to get stuff from point A to point B. So logistics, I want to say,
There you go.
Tough. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the craft of it though, like, did you read books? Did you just go online and find sources, YouTube videos? Like,
mainly it was YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
Like TikTok is probably the easiest thing to learn anything. Just go to TikTok, just type in how to make rugs, and it's better than YouTube. Some will say. So definitely doing that. And so when I would go to the arts and crafts store, sometimes I would see other people with like baskets full of yarn. So I would kind of ask them like, "Yo, like, what do you do?" They're like, "Oh, I make rugs." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, same." So then that's how I would connect with other local people who do rugs.
Yeah.
And also, just being out at like the flea markets or the conventions, people who do make rugs also approach you, and then you just kind of connect like that. And then, another thing I would say was a learning curve was carving the rugs, like shaping out like each like line. Getting straight lines is pretty difficult, especially with like letters and stuff. Oh man, like the letters still for me, I'm still learning just because it's basically like a haircut. It's basically, so if you shave it, you can't replace it. It's already gone. So learning how to just be meticulous about that is pretty tough, but I mean, it's a learning curve. It's fine.
There's a lot of attention to detail, stuff like that, I assume. So I was, we know what your first rugs were, but I was curious. I mean, do you take like requests? Like people will like send you requests, like, can you make this, that, whatever it is?
Of course, yeah.
So like, what's like, you got something that's like, that's a little weird, man. Have you ever? What's your weirdest?
Oh yeah. I've gotten some weird stuff before. People asking to put like their face on a butt before. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. It's insane. People, I mean, and then like some like cartoon, adult stuff. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah. But so most times people that ask for that stuff, I would say are like the real comic book nerds though.
Oh yeah.
Like, so I was like, they're pretty like hardcore fans. So it's actually pretty cool to connect with people like that. And then sometimes I just tell them like, no, I can't do it. Like sometimes it's just like, yeah, I don't want to stare at this in my room for a week straight. Yeah, I don't want to do that. But and then like I'll refer them out to like somebody I know who will make it though.
That's cool. That's cool. Is there one where you've been like, this is my favorite thing I've ever made? Like this is the best thing I've done. Like this is it.
Yeah. Just recently I made something for AwesomeCon. I can't remember what it was. I think I sold it. I sold it, but each batch I make, I find a new favorite one because I try new different things in between each rug, and so I'm trying to think of it. What was it? It was something really cool. Ah, man, like it changes every like 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, like of course, I do have some stuff I will say, oh, it's my favorite, and like I don't want to sell it, and then kind of find out I actually do end up selling it. So like that's the thing with me too. Like I'm okay with letting things go because I'll have it for a couple of weeks at a time. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Let me give it to somebody else now.
That's good.
So it constantly changes. And then like in my room, I hang up rugs, and so I'm like, okay, like I kind of want to change the scenery a little bit.
Yeah.
So then I'll rotate them out. When I'm ready to sell it, I'll go sell it. So I do get to keep a little bit of it first and then pass it on to the next. So that's pretty cool.
That's good not to like hold on too close to things. As a collector, like I find myself doing that sometimes, and I'm like, man, I gotta move this stuff because I've got like bins of action figures sitting somewhere. You can't look at them. I don't have them up anywhere. Why do I have them? So I feel you on that. Have you had a project that was like, not too weird to do, but like too hard, like, or just something so difficult? You were like, man, I can't. It's giving me problems. I can't get it done.
Yes, I would say the first couple of times it was funny. So within the same, I would say, couple of weeks span, I got these 2 orders of portraits. So one was a portrait of somebody's daughter, other one was a portrait of somebody's dog. So turning a real life picture into like a vector image first and then transforming it into the rug, that was pretty difficult because of shading the rug, because it's not like paint where you can mix colors. I have to go find yarn to actually match that color and put it in the right spot, and then you can't blend it. Yeah, so that was pretty hard, but it came out a lot better than I thought it would. So but then again, those took within itself about 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh wow.
So like there you go again. Like I was underestimating how long it would take because I didn't know of that new challenge yet. So yeah, it was pretty tough, but I mean I got it done. So yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, anytime you have a challenge like that, you learn something new about yourself or about the craft. So that's good.
Most definitely.
You spoke about cons earlier and kind of like meeting other vendors that work on rugs, or maybe they do other things. I don't know, but I mean, have you picked up something like a real good tip? Like, oh man, I'm glad I came across you because I needed to know that. Like,
actually not yet.
Yeah.
Personally, but the other way around, yes. People have seen me and then like asking for stuff and then how to do this and that. So I have given them tips on that. But it's very rare that I'll see somebody at a convention selling rugs. Like at AwesomeCon, I know there was specifically one other person, but rugs wasn't their main thing though. So they would have like a couple that they've done, but that's not the whole show, I want to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's cool to see different art styles, I would say, because there's different art styles, but nothing that personally I say, oh, like I gotta ask them how they done that.
Right.
So at least not yet. But yeah, well, I live in LA, so we're pretty. It's pretty common for people to do rugs out here. Like I was at a convention in Long Beach. Actually, right, it was the weekend after Comic Con LA. So I did Comic Con LA in December. So then the next weekend I had this other convention out in Long Beach. And so there was this other guy who sold rugs. And so he recognized me from TikTok. So he's like, oh, I seen you on TikTok before. And I was like, because I'm not really on TikTok. So like, I don't really say I'm on TikTok like that. So I was like, nah, I don't think so. And so he's like, nah, dude, like I seen you do X, Y, and Z. So I was like, okay, now he knows what I'm talking about. So then, but then his style of tufting, that's what we call it, tufting, was very, very miniature. Everything was small.
Yeah.
It was small, but it wasn't really detailed like that. So I was like,
Uh,
okay, that's his art style. So I can't shame him for his style of art.
right.
So yeah, but I mean, it's definitely cool to see different genres and people's uh, where people go, because his was more like cartoons.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing like anime; it was just like cartoons. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So how long you been on like how long have you been doing cons, I guess? Like how long has that been going on?
The first like convention, like con,
Yeah.
was barely in December. This past December.
Okay.
Um, so Comic Con LA was number one, and then OSCON was number two. So I'm really on con two. Well, right now I have con three planned, but I would just do like flea markets
Mm-hmm.
and it's like small farmers markets,
Mm-hmm.
like nothing big, like nothing that's like more than one day.
Yeah.
So it definitely is adjustment. I would say, oh, that's also another hardship I had to, not hardship, another speed bump I had to get used to was having a display,
Yeah.
because at a farmer's market, it's you kind of just do whatever. You set up a table and that's it. So, but actually learning how to, I would say, make it look like a storefront, I want to say.
Right.
So so that was definitely a challenge, because even at so Comic Con LA, I didn't know that people had backdrops yet. I know that was a thing. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that you would kind of have these walls dividing everything. So
Yeah.
so literally our booth was just a table, and like I had like a tower that would like hold, like a triangle tower
Yeah.
that would hold rugs.
Yeah.
And so it was just that. Like it was blank walls. Like, but I mean, hey, it was the start.
Yeah.
So but yeah, but that's stuff that you learn as you go along. So I got a backdrop at least now. So
That's what's up.
so yeah. So yeah, and then like the tablecloth. I didn't have a tablecloth. Like, yeah, it was crazy. But I mean, yeah, you kind of just learn as you go. So
Yeah, that's true. Um, I, have you have you thought about like any other like crafts, or are you just kind of like focused on the rugs right now? Not really like
mm,
looking to expand anything else at the moment.
so I have been expanding. So I also sew a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm actually in the process of actually turning rugs into clothes, or putting rugs on clothes. So I've made a prototype. So I wore
Really?
it out to one of the conventions, but I'm just kind of fine tuning that right
Yeah.
now, and then kind of I would do one like expand into tapestries though, and like weaving. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's gonna be something cool for me to try out. But rugs is rugs is cool. Oh, actually, right now, what I am doing right now is actually painting. So I
Oh.
actually did paint a table actually a couple days ago. So I'm putting the epoxy on it now to
Nice.
give it a clear coat. So painting has, so I am expanding slowly,
Yeah.
kind of just dabbling out, but it's actually really cool. I mean, for my first table, it actually it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, like it looks a lot better than I thought it would. But then again, I had to learn how to paint, learning how to actually stack the colors, and
Yeah.
actually learning how to detail it, because I thought you outline first, because when I make rugs I do the outline first. I do
Hmm.
like all the black lines first, so I know where to stop and put the next color. But when you paint, it's the opposite. It's the last thing you do, because that's what divides the colors and makes it pop. And I didn't know that, so I was like, okay, that's something you gotta learn. So yeah, so it's definitely things that are that I'll do better on the next one. So
Yeah.
it's a constant learn as you go.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I like doing though, learn as you go.
Oh yeah. A man of many talents. I see. You
Thank
got
you.
you got a bright future there, man. I like what you're doing.
Thank
Um,
you.
so like we do talk a lot about collecting here. Is there anything you collect outside of like the rugs you make? Like
Um
anything in particular, any kind of fandom you may collect things from, or memorabilia, anything like that?
actually I don't.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I'm thinking about collecting. I do have some comic books though. Like
Yeah.
I will say, I do have like a stack of like yay big, but nothing that like I display though. I don't think.
Yeah.
Just because, man, like my walls already have. Yeah, but but no, like I think I want to turn rugs into the collectibles though.
Yeah.
I think that's what my end goal is, of why I haven't chose anything per se to start collecting.
Yeah.
Like figurines, to me, like I definitely respect them. I definitely do.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, like I don't have the space for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it can be addictive too when you start doing
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh.
But it's cool, a lot of your times in your craft and, running your business, you don't have a lot of time to maybe like search
Yeah.
things out and find things like that. Totally respect that. We talked a little bit about anime, being a fan of anime. Uh, what's your favorite anime?
Off the top of my head, like number one would be Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
I would say that one, and then I'll give my top three.
Okay.
That's number one. Next will be Naruto,
Uh-huh.
and then number three will be Full Metal Alchemist.
My man.
Yeah.
I don't get to talk to a lot of anime people, but I watch a lot of anime too. And yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is probably my favorite. So
Yeah,
I definitely feel you right there. I was kind of old for the Naruto. I still watched it, but I grew up with like Dragon Ball Z. Like that was my thing. So
yeah,
and then Naruto came after that. I tried to watch my little brother was all about it, so we watched it.
yeah.
But it's really good though. Anime is booming right now. It's huge. I'm sure that helps out your business a lot.
It does a lot, because most of the commission work I do doesn't it's not even anime. That's the funniest part. It'll be like for like brands or like somebody's store. Like, so I rarely do get anime commissions. So I don't know. I guess it just works out like that. So
Yeah.
I think what keeps me, I would say, going is just making stuff I just like everything I make, like that kind of isn't an order. It's just something that I just want to make, and it eventually sells. So I think that's what keeps it fun for me and organic, is me not trying to look at it as profit. Like I think the money will just come naturally, just because I'm doing what I honestly love.
Right.
And so it's gotten me this far. So it's like, yeah, why change the recipe?
That's a great way to look at it, because most people just walk into it like, how do I make money, as opposed to how do I do something I love, and then it turns into people want that product, whatever it is, whether it be painting or the rugs or sculpting or whatever it could be, carpentry. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely,
you do what you love, and it kind of just the rest of it kind of comes to you eventually. That's the way it's always seemed to me. So that's
correct.
smart.
Thank you. No, but I will say though that one comic, or I would say that I did really get interested in, was actually X-Men.
Yeah.
I would watch the animated series. Was it maybe X-Men Unlimited? Maybe. I
think
want to
they had
say
one. There's been a few. That is one of them. Yeah. X-Men
yeah.
Unlimited. That's good.
I would say growing up, I do remember watching that vastly. But X-Men, I would say, is actually, I feel like X-Men is the equivalent to, let's say, like in anime terms, like the Dragon Ball, where it's like you'll have the different generations, the different series that kind of people can actually just connect to, not really knowing the backstories of the characters.
Yeah.
So I will say that is one comic book genre or series that I kind of do hold close to my heart, because it's like, okay, like X-Men was pretty cool. I always thought Cyclops was pretty cool. Like, but then like learning, like the more you learn about him and like his character development, and like it's pretty rough. It's rough. Like I don't think any of them have like a good story. Like
it's been rough.
Yeah, but it's just so respectable to me. Like just because because he goes through a lot. He goes through a lot.
They're one of those franchises that speaks to a lot of different generations, I think. So that and Spider-Man too. So it kind of it's one of those things that kind of can keep going and can be retold in different ways.
Now that you said Spider-Man, it, like something clicked into my head. Okay, actually, I think what started getting me into comic book was actually it's a bad story, but it's kind of but we learned to get past it though. So growing up as a kid, I was always I always had like a Spider-Man themed birthday party.
Yeah.
And so, but then I didn't know that was comic book yet. I didn't know. So so every year my mom threw me a Spider-Man birthday party or whatever. So I would have like the web slingers or whatever. And so so I had a baby brother. Well, I still have a baby brother. So he was maybe 2, maybe 3. I was like what 7. So my mom just bought entertainment center, like a big one. And so I had like the shelves and stuff, and like you put different stuff in there. And so at the time, we just bought it, so it was kind of empty still.
Yeah.
And so
I see where this is going.
they didn't they didn't hook the center onto the wall yet. Like the hooks were on top of the entertainment center to actually be hooked onto the wall. And so on the top it was these 2 glass doors. And so I'm thinking I'm Spider-Man, you know. And so my sister was actually luckily she was right there watching TV. It was crazy because she was watching TV, even though we had chairs in the living room, but she decided to sit right in front of the TV. Yeah. And so it was actually like a Spider-Man like fold out chair, you know, like a beach chair, I want to say. Yeah. So she was actually just sitting there watching TV just coincidentally. And so my brother was in front of the entertainment center just being a baby. And so I decided I wanted to climb up on the entertainment center like I was Spider-Man. And so there was 2 glass doors. And so I remember this. So I grabbed the 2 glass doors and I swung them open, but I was hanging off of it. Like I wasn't like my feet were off the ground.
Oh man.
And so me not knowing anything, of course everything came falling down. So I already knew get out of the way. But then again, I remember seeing my brother there, so I knew to kind of try to hold it up, but he's a baby. He doesn't know. He doesn't have the sense of danger yet. He doesn't know. Yeah. And so my sister literally one hand was trying to hold up the entertainment center to let him like under. And so by the graces of God, he actually, because it ended up falling like flat. And so just because it was heavy. Yeah. And so because it was complete wood, like straight wood. And so naturally he fell into like one of the cubbies that had like the empty spaces. So he naturally regularly fit just naturally into the hole. So then we picked it up and he had a scar on his head now because he had got cut by a piece of glass. But other than that was it. And so that was actually probably my introduction to comic books. But I mean now we laugh at it, but I mean they learned to hook the stuff to the wall. So, and then I learned to not climb on stuff.
Hey,
I mean, that was actually.
I got a couple kids and they've done some crazy stuff like that too. So I know I have to strap everything to a wall.
Yeah,
put soft corners and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh man. Yeah, I had a black eye every like 2 weeks from just. Oh yeah. I'm just trying to climb on stuff, not even just. Oh man, like I was a reckless kid. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, just you just want to be like what you see on TV. So
yeah, oh yeah, like I could do that. I think I could do that. That's one of my red flags. Like I see somebody do something, like I think I could do that, but I probably couldn't.
You never know until you try.
You're right.
Never know until you try. That's what I say.
So Kierron, where can people, get in contact with you about maybe like commissions or whatever it may be?
Oh yeah. So on all social platforms, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, is going to be KTMAKESRUGS, all one word. So it makes it easy for everybody. Or you can get KTMAKESRUGS.com. Everything's the same on all across platforms. So if you want to commission, DM me a picture. We'll start the conversation there. We'll get started on the process. I also do clothes. Now I do furniture, so we can definitely collaborate about that. But yeah, my Instagram is pretty popping. It's funny because so I'm from Los Angeles. So when I was in Ossicon at DC, so recently I've been making videos about One Piece, about how I don't like the One Piece show. It's so funny because so across every platform, the comments are different. So like, the comments on Instagram are pretty much like, I would say, the negative comments, but then if you go to TikTok, it's positive comments. And so if I go on YouTube, it's like a mix. So it's different across each platform. And so I've watched all the majority of the show, I would say. So when I was actually out there in DC, people actually were coming up to me because they saw the One Piece videos. And so that's when I kind of said, oh, wow, I think I might have something here. So then, so yeah, I mean, I kind of just took a step back off of just making One Piece videos just because it takes so much energy out of me to just make that video. Because I had to learn to, this is another thing. Once you have a platform, you don't know the impact of what you say until after.
That's true.
And so I had to learn that I now have the power to say something and people are going to listen. But then you have to learn that though. And so my mom told me I should take the videos down. I was like, I'm not doing that. My sister said, no, keep the videos up there, because people, it brings people to you. But then after you finish the show, make a reflection video to see people. It's going to show people that you have the ability to actually grow, and two, you're going to probably gain a new audience because people are going to see that you're mature enough to actually change your opinion and not be so one-sided. So I will say that. So if you do see the videos on Instagram or TikTok, whatever, watch all of them through. I would say that because yeah. But I mean, other than that, like, I still do make One Piece stuff. I mean, I'm making One Piece stuff now. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's not for everybody, and I understand that. So
it's super like huge right now. One Piece is everywhere. There's so many fans, and like, it's one of those things I never got into either, just because it's like, it feels like a mountain. I don't feel like climbing. You know what I mean? So I just trust people. Be like, all right, I'm glad you love it. That's cool, man.
Yeah,
I respect it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'll say it's a lot. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, mainly KTMAKESRUGS, and then we can get a custom going on from right there.
That's what's up, man. Like, those some of those rugs would make like excellent pieces in like collection rooms, or like.
Thank you.
My
favorite one that I did recently was actually the Watchmen one, the Watchmen comic cover. That was pretty cool. Like, I have that one hanging up right here. Actually, well, you can't see it, but
yeah.
Right here. So, well, actually, technically, the video would be like right there on that side. Okay. But yeah, but that's probably my favorite one. So I think I'm gonna do the whole collection next of Watchmen, just because I like Watchmen. But it's that's comic book, but I never got into it from the comic stuff. I watched the movie, and then I watched the TV series, and then I went back and read the comics.
And those are both good adaptations too. A little different, but really good. And the comic was like, when it came out, it was a big deal. Like, it changed the game. Like, it was iconic. People were buying it by like, they couldn't keep it in stock. Nowhere could. So,
oh wow,
it's very popular amongst like comic book fans. It's it's like a core memory for a lot of people that are older. So, big fans on that. You also have a website too, right? Like, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So it's KTMAKESRUGS.com.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. If you need something for your collector's room, or even your bedroom, living room, whatever, man, like, he can hook you up. I vouch for it. It's all beautiful, all awesome. All right. So I guess we're going to wrap up this episode here. I really want to thank you for coming on. This was very enlightening. You're very smart, very bright, and very talented.
Thank you for the opportunity, man.
You're gonna go some big places, man. I feel like.
Well, I'll if I saw Tony, pretty sure I'll see you over there too. So yeah.
What's your next con? You got one you going to soon?
So I'm actually going to Texas doing DreamCon.
Okay.
That's a 3-day convention. I'm gonna do Comic Con LA out here again. What's that? That is in October. So
Okay.
other than that, those are the 2 big cons I have planned for right now. I don't think I have anything else planned in the future just because of just timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far those are the only 2 big conventions that I know of at the moment. It'll probably change. It's only March, so
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, I'll probably do Austin. I'll do AustenCon again next year for sure. Like you guys showed a lot of love out there, so yeah,
I'll have to make it to that one. I wanted to go this year, but the scheduling just didn't work out. Like I tried, so maybe next year we'll get to hook up there. But if you're gonna be in Texas or LA at the con, check it out, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes,
so for Nerd Initiative, this has been another episode of Play for Keeps. I'm Mickey, also known as Cell Phone Wallet Keys on all socials. You can check us out at nerdinitiative.com. If you want to like get up with us, want to share what you do, maybe you want to share your craft like Kierron here or someone else, we would love to highlight you, give you a place to talk and share what you do. Just contact us, hit that QR code there at the bottom. Again, my name's Mickey, and we'll see you next time, man. So thanks, Kierron.
Thank you.